It's a great. Now we move on to another speaker. It's a great privilege to have with us today Dr. Devangana Desai, and her contribution to the Indian art history is unparalleled. And now I request Dr. Desai, and she is now the Vice President of the Asiatic Society, Mumbai. As you know, she has contributed a number of articles, number of books in Indian art history, in the different aspects of Indian art history. So, Dr. Desai.
Respected Swamiji, Dr. Durga Basu, and distinguished scholars. My subject, as you know, is iconological approach, temple as an ordered whole, the Kandarya Mahadev. Revisiting the themes of cultural heritage of India volume, we see important articles on architecture, sculpture, and iconography. Noteworthy are the textual studies on the Indian temple by N.K. Bose and on the concept of the Jain temple by Gopilal Amand. Besides others, N.K. Bose has contributed another article on the distinctive features and structural peculiarities of the Nagara temples. Here, constructional aspects of Khajuraho, Bhubaneswar, and other temples are described. There are significant articles on sculpture, starting with O.C. Ganguly's article, Indian Sculpture, Essence and Form, written in 1937. There are important articles on different schools of sculpture, from Maurya Shunga by Professor Niharanjan Rai, to Palasena by Dr. Stella Crambish, and medieval sculpture by Shivarama Murthy. Dr. Kapila Vatsyan rightly points out in a preface that the sculptural traditions cannot be dissociated from the architectural structures. As she says, the sculptures are intrinsic constituents of the architectural schema. They are the life breath of the architectural concept, vision, and design. My presentation takes off from Dr. Vatsyana's insightful remarks while pointing out some recent works done in the context of the cultural heritage of India volume. She writes, and I humbly read out, and this is a quotation, the interpretative work of younger scholars, she says younger for me, scholars such as Devangana Desai, goes beyond the work of Stella Crambish in Hindu temple and A.K. Kumaraswamy's masterly essay on the Kandarya Mahadev. Nevertheless, it has to be considered that such detailed work would not have been possible but for the foundations laid out by these scholars. And so I would say that she's absolutely right. My research is based on the works of Kumaraswamy and Crambish. My understanding of the temple is through their work. I am inspired by Ananda Kumaraswamy's essay, An Indian Temple, the Kandarya Mahadev, and therefore I have given this title, Temple as an Ordered Whole, the Kandarya Mahadev. Because, you know, he believed, Kumaraswamy believed that the knowledge of religious and philosophical background is indispensable for the understanding of the history of art, and he was interested in bringing forth the metaphysical foundations of Indian culture. And he selected the Kandarya Mahadev temple of Khajuraho as a representative example of the Indian temple at its best. Stella Crambish's monumental work, The Hindu Temple, enlightens us on the basic symbolism of the temple, the nucleus, the center of the Garbhagruha, and the relationship to peripheral images. The center of the temple, that is the chief divinity or its symbol in the sanctum, radiates its power in cardinal directions through the images of its manifestations, as I will be also showing you. The temple is the monument of manifestation. Various images of the temple are graded manifestation of the central principle. The temple in some of its best representation is an ordered whole in which images are part of an integrated scheme. M.A. Dhaki's article Prasada as Cosmos, based on Vastu texts, also supports this view. In addition to the analytical and stylistic study of form, it is also relevant to have an iconological study of the temple, its images and symbols. We can look at the temple internally to see how the Sutradhara, or the master architect, has planned it and how he has projected concepts through the sculptural scheme of the temple. Some of the well-planned and highly evolved temples of 10th, 11th centuries, such as those at Tanjavur, Bhubaneswar, Modera, Khajuraho, Ambernath, and Udaipur, offer us opportunities to study the conscious design and the concepts of their master architects. Work has been done in this direction on some of these temples, for instance on Tanjavur and Ambernath. The present paper is an attempt to closely view one of the mature temples of Khajuraho, the Kandarya Mahadev, built in 1030. 1030. Regarding the other great temple of Khajuraho, namely the Lakshmana or the Vishnu Vaikuntha temple, I have tried to show elsewhere that it represents Vishwarupa, or boundless cosmic form. There was, it seemed, not a mechanical arrangement of images to carry out prescribed conventions, but a creative mind working to project concepts through the sculptural scheme in these temples. The temple is conceived as an ordered whole. It is this inner or closer view of the sculptural imageries projected by architects that I would like to present as one of the approaches to study temple art, which is not in this volume volume of ours, but which can perhaps be included. It consists in examining the iconic scheme of the temple in relation to the religio-philosophical system associated with it. In her exposition to the Shaiva cave temple of Elephanta, Kremrich has demonstrated the triple presence of Shiva. Shivalinga, which is there in the temple at Elephanta and in the Kandarya Mahadev and other temples, as a symbol of unmanifest manifest. It is Nishkala, Avyakta, undifferentiated, formless entity, unmanifest, Parashiva or Supreme Being. Then I will show you the third level, which is Mahesha, Sakala Vyakta, emerges from the 1000 part of the fifth aspect of this second category, Sadashiva, Sakala, which is Shakala Nishkala or Vyakta Vyakta, which is manifest, unmanifest. So Sadashiva is what is earlier called Trimurti, that is Sadashiva, which is now identified. It is the manifest, unmanifest aspect at Elephanta, and there are various images of Mahesha as dancer, as bridegroom, vanquisher of demons, and other Leela Murtis. So now this, when she presented this scheme at Philadelphia, I just thought that even the Kandarya Mahadev temple of Khajuraho has Sadashiva and this triple manifestation of Shiva. So I said, why not then investigate the scheme of the Kandarya Mahadev? And also, in addition to these three categories, we have lesser manifestations of Shaiva hierarchy in the hundreds of images of Shiva on the exterior walls of the temples. You can see these three levels of manifestations in the Kandarya Mahadev temple. Shiva Linga in the Garbhagruha, unmanifest aspect of Shiva, then manifest, unmanifest Sadashiva. He is 4-footed, to which I will just come in the next slide in detail. And here the manifest aspect of Shiva as Andhakasura Vadamurti. So there are these three aspects which are seen at Khajuraho, Kandarya Mahadev, and also other manifest forms which we will see. Next please. You saw the 4-footed there in Kandarya Mahadev. Now here this is the image of the extraordinary image of Sadashiva Chatushpada, 4-footed, now in the museum, and it is an inscribed image which calls it Sadashiva, so identification is beyond doubt. And this image was installed by Acharya Urdhva Shiva, possibly he is seated here, and this image has 6 visible heads topped by a Shiva Linga, and the 4 feet are important aspects. And in Khajuraho, we see punning, also use of double meaning language. Here we see Chatushpada, which means 4 feet, and also 4 parts of a treatise, which are the Gnanapada or knowledge, Charyapada, which include conduct daily rituals, Kriyapada, activities, methods of worship, and Yogapada, meditation, etc. I showed this image to one of the yoga exponents of Bihar Schooler, Swami Niranjananda, and he immediately said, yes, these 2 padas would be connected with the Kriya Pada and the Yoga Pada, and Charya and Kriya Pada, and Gnana and Yoga Pada would be this. Sarvadarshana Sangraha, a text of 14th century, describes a large number of religio-philosophical systems and defines the Shaiva school as Tripadartham Chatushpadam Mahatantram. The Chatushpada, the 4 padas are parts of Shaiva system, lead man on the way to Shiva. Next please. Dr. Chaudhary showed Sadashiva, that mask, I think, where is he gone? Yeah. There are sculptural representation of acharyas holding manuscripts. You can see this. And there is an important image, though it is mutilated, it is inscribed image of Acharya Someshwara Bhattaraka. The name is inscribed here. And such images must have been venerated at Khajuraho. Next please. Now, architects in medieval India seem to have been guided by acharyas, particularly in matters of placement of images or sthana nirnaya, and that is the and other requirements of temple worship. Now, this is a very significant panel which has been recently excavated from the Bijamandal mound of Khajuraho, where you can see Acharya holding a manuscript, and he is in a position as if he is telling the scribe to write, instructing him. And there are some craftsmen with the sculptural skills there. Next please. Such acharyas could have devised such emanatory systems. Now what we see, Shaiva emanatory system. Now Khajuraho rose to prominence in India's history at a time when the temple had architecturally evolved into a mature structure. The architectural expansion of the temple was accompanied by conceptual developments in the religio-philosophical systems regarding the Supreme Being and its manifestations, the One and its many forms. The concept of far-reaching importance in the religious systems of the period was that of the emanation or emission of, why is it coming so little? Emission of cosmic elements, tattvas, from the Supreme Being in the process of creation of the universe, and that reabsorption in the to the principal primordial center in the process of dissolution. So there is a hierarchy of cosmic elements from the Parashiva, Supreme Shiva. When he wills, from his 1000th part emerges Parashakti, and from her Adi Shakti and so on. This is the scheme. And a series of evolutes emerge from the Supreme Being, one from the other, up to the Prithvi Tattva. And in the involution or dissolution process, all these tattvas are absorbed back into the primordial center. I have just shown it up to Brahma here, but the hierarchy of evolutes is important to note, as it will be seen in the sculptural scheme of the temple also, the Kandarya Mahadev. The Sadashiva is the key figure. Here you can, I had put something which is not seen here. Sadashiva, Sakala Nishkala, he is the important figure in the scheme. And T.A. Gopinath Rao, the well-known iconographist, emphasized the great significance of Sadashiva in the Shaiva or Shaiva Siddhanta system and demonstrated his position in the cosmological process of creation and dissolution or evolution or involution. Here you can see, from Sadashiva emerges Mahesha. From his 1000 part, the fifth aspect of Sadashiva, Mahesha. This is just to show the hierarchy of the status of these gods. Then from the 1000 part of Mahesha emerges Rudra. And from crore part is Vishnu. This Vishnu would be the part of Shaiva system. And Brahma from crore part of Vishnu. So this is the Shaiva system. In the Vishnu system, it will be a different position.
What is the text of your book?
Ishana Shiva Guru Deva Paddhati, then there is Shiva Purana also. I will be later telling you about. And I have taken this from T.A. Gopinath Rao, who has illustrated it. Next, please. Kandarya Mahadev, cave-like, you can see like a guha, and mountain-like with its shikharas. It stands majestically. The Shiva Linga is installed exactly below this spire, pineal of the tower, as we see in the next slide. Next, please. There the section of the Kandarya Mahadev temple, Shiva Linga there in the square of the Garbhagruha, exactly in the center, the Brahmasthana, which is also called the navel of the earth. That is the term Kumaraswamy uses in his